turn on my mic, that would work. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another evening of Fumbles&Fame plays Dungeons and Dragons. Tonight we're gonna resume on our trip through the Irova Occident with me as a DM Kayshin and Johan, co-DM of the night, together with my four players. One is a little bit late because of family issues, so I think he's gonna jump on as soon as possible. But before we get started, we at Fumbles&Fame are not affiliated with, endorsed by, or specifically approved by Wizards of the Coast LLC. So that's all the important stuff. We'll get, I guess, as soon into it as we can, because I think that's what we're here for, right? So before we get started for real, let's do a quick little round about through the players of the night. There's actually another person not available to join us tonight. He will join us next time again. So let's just go in order of what I see on my screen, which is Sam.
Hey guys, I'm Sam. I'm gonna be.
You just fell out.
What?
Your mic just fell out. Try that again.
You're not getting anything at all? Or?
No, we are.
Alright. So I'm Sam. I'm gonna be playing Lorenzo, the roguish swashbuckler for the evening.
Okay, then we have Barrage, who's not here. Then we have Illyria.
Hey, hey everyone, I'm Tahina, I'm from Germany, and true to our name, Fumbles&Fame, we're fumbling a lot tonight. I hope you have fun watching us. I play Illyria, class compelled Storm Song of the Noble House of Stormwind, an Elven Ranger.
And then the last one in order is Xander.
Hello everyone, I'm Cheech from United States, northeastern Pennsylvania to be more specific. I will be playing the Bard, always lovable, always mischievous, always looking to make a dime, Xander Lionbrook.
That needs a small little applause, it being Xander, right? So when we last left our intrepid adventurers, I think we have had a big celebration and a birthday party of Illyria's, which all turned to shit when stuff blew up, basically. After that, they met with an Azer that they have befriended so far. They've gotten a few magical items, they've gotten a few hints and tips, word about a certain prophecy that they're onto, and they decided to take a boat eastward towards the Dread Isle, in which there would be old knowledge or information about what might be going on in the world. Because, as they have found out, there's shit going on with the elemental forces in the world and around it, and the party has taken it upon themselves to figure out what is going on, so maybe they could even solve it in the end. I think they have some sort of adventurous feel to it, so that's what they're going for. So last time I told the party that they had a few days of pre-travel time in which they could do a few things, and I think most of them have decided a few things to do. So let's just do that first. I'll just start with the order I have them in on my notes. So Xander.
Yes.
If I'm correct, you wanted to do some more performing in your downtime, so you may be able to earn additional coin, as well as you wanted to really know how much gold your Illyria's family gave you, right?
I wouldn't throw that many reallys out there, but I think at least one.
Okay, you really want to know. But
yeah,
okay. So for the gig that you were hired for, especially because you were hired through the means of Biff, it was a plan for multiple days to perform. You got a total sum, because you still got the total sum of 80 gold pieces.
Ooh.
And that's not included the tips that you've gotten besides that, of course.
Right. Okay.
And I understand that you want to do some more performing in the city or in the Broken Shield Inn itself. Where did you have any idea where did you want to perform? Where do you want to perform?
Well, I mean, we had 5 days. I figured since he doesn't know how long this is going to be, Xander would probably feel that this is a farewell for now tour of the city.
Yeah.
So probably the Broken Shield Inn, maybe one or two other locations that he would perform at here or there.
Mm-hmm.
Like his usual spots.
Okay. So I would consider that for you as a downtime activity work. So you would spend about 5 days just hanging around doing a farewell tour. I guess you would be performing your masterpiece as well, the one that you're known for. What was it called again?
Oh, you're gonna do that to me now. It's in my notes. Hold on. We're the three Flambinis.
The
It's
three
a
Flambinis.
ribald.
Okay,
Yes.
a ribald song. And yeah, you're
Yes.
performing that here and there. You didn't have the chance to perform it in the Broken Shield Inn itself, so your current comrades don't know it as well, and they're doing their own thing during these days. So you might have a chance to do this at some later date.
Fair
Uh,
enough.
so I would guess then for this, we'll just use. I'm gonna use the Xanatar's rules for this, considering we count this specifically as being downtime.
Sure.
This is the work downtime performance. You can make an ability check. It's a charisma performance or charisma using a musical instrument. And I guess you're gonna do it with your instrument, with your hurdy-gurdy. What are you gonna play besides your ribald song? Any examples of good titles that you have in your
Oh,
stock?
there is. I've been working on this one song for a little while up to this point. It's called The Decision. It's about who the listener will be taking home to bed, and it's kind of directing them at me.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Uh, Another one is.
But that one's still in the works. You only have like a verse and a half for that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But you
nothing
just
full.
you still play test it on these evenings. Of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? I've been working on this tune. It's not released yet, but let me just hit you with it. Like, one of those things. Probably play something a little bit more Irish traditional, like Fields of Athenry or something. Nice all around fun music. I don't want to get too down.
I'd request something nautical given our current objective.
Sure.
Boars and hounds, what do we do with a drunken sailor, things of that nature.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there'll be plenty of sea shanties as well.
Yeah, because it being a big port city as well, but with a big harbor and one of the major trade hubs in the entire continent, there's a lot of seafaring song more on here than it would be on the seas itself, because there's not that much sea travel. The travel on water that's done in this world is mostly done on the rivers themselves. So that's where you would find these kind of shanties. Yeah. Okay.
But all uplifting. Nothing too down.
Okay, then you can roll a performance check for me for your amazing ribaldry and shanties.
Should I use the hidden or throw it in the main?
You can roll a real life dice, you can roll a hidden dice, you can roll an open dice, whatever the hell you want.
Roll it open.
Whatever makes you feel good. Oh
that
wow,
makes me feel excellent.
that makes you feel perfect. Yeah, you go by a few places, and even though that after what happened during the festivities, Most of the people that were here for on a visit for the festivities have disappeared. There are here and there some inns and taverns, especially in the lower areas, where you also notice that people seem to gather because the last day there was, or the last few days, there was an influx of some good food towards the lower regiments of the city. So
Sure.
they organize a bit more, and you manage to around here actually earn quite a fair bit. So you earn a comfortable lifestyle for the week. So I'm not sure what a comfortable lifestyle. Oh, that would be 2 gold pieces for the few days in the um, oh, sorry, 2 gold pieces a day, so that would be 10 gold pieces on wages. And because you found the perfect bars and places to perform, you've actually managed in short change and maybe something that you were able to sell later on, like a small little trinket, worth 25 gold pieces as well. So
Woohoo!
that would be 35 gold pieces in total that you earned over these days. Um,
Nice.
Yeah, and goes fairly well. You also get a few contacts here and there trying to find out where you're going because apparently word has spread amongst the people that you specifically know, the ones that have given you a wonderful gift, parting gift as well last time. Uh, but you don't
Yes.
reveal too much. But you do notice that there's some stirring in those regiments of the city as well. So people are talking about a lot of this.
Okay.
I think another thing you wanted to do is during your evening is try to find out how your hurdy-gurdy actually works.
Yeah, when I was playing it here or there, I would notice maybe an an off crank.
Hmm.
Like it just doesn't feel right.
Like
Ever
like it's like
since
a skip like a skipper rattle somewhere. Like it
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And I've played this instrument for years now.
yeah.
So I would always I don't know, I should know this inside and out. But I haven't let anyone else in on the fact that I don't know what the fuck is going on with my instrument if I come like in passing.
Well, over these few days, you learn how it actually works, and it's you can actually load up 5 daggers in this.
Really?
Yep. The first thing that sprung out was not actually a crossbow bolt, but it was a spring-loaded thing that someone just mashed in there to make it able to play. Because he didn't know how to work it, and he just rammed something in there, and it was able to play again. And you got that from that guy, and he got it from another guy. You know how this goes, right?
That's, of course.
And you actually find, after playing it with it a little bit, by hitting a certain combination of tunes, that you can open a shaft where these 5 daggers are in there already that you can just load up.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
They're not like dagger-sized daggers. They're like these throwing daggers kind of idea, like this like palm-sized almost.
Almost like arrowheads.
Yeah, almost like
A bit bigger.
arrowheads, like what a ninja would almost throw. Those kind of things.
Oh, like
So
kunai type things.
they are quite specialized. If you wanted to reload this, you would actually have someone make this for you if you would lose these.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
And yeah, you can just use an action to make an attack with it, basically, as long as it's loaded, and it automatically reloads as well, as long as it's loaded. And
But okay. So how many daggers are in there?
5.
5? Okay.
You can't put any more in there as well, as you see. It might be possible with some extreme tuning to the entire device, but you think that the mechanism is quite precise for that,
Okay.
because the instrument on itself is already precise as is, and if you start working on it, you either lose a mechanism or you lose a tune, and you don't want to lose either, right?
I'd muck it up one way or another.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what my overarching thought is regarding that? I am terrified of when you roll a nat 1 on a performance check.
Depends on the moment, I guess.
I will worry about that when that time comes. Until then, this is fucking awesome.
You're going to be the bumbling assassin. Accidentally striking people down left, right, and center.
Okay, that's
Man, did you see that performance? I slayed them.
so that's Sander over these few days. He actually did slay them. Illyria, Ali.
Yes.
As I understand, you wanted to try to find out a little bit more information around Bridgeton itself about potential elemental stuff sets.
Exactly. I wanted to contact the network of the family to find out if they heard word on the wind that there have been other incidents like this.
Yeah.
Because
So you're
the prophecy
researching.
hints at that.
So you're researching a little bit broader, maybe even sending out word to the next village or the next village over as far as you can reach within these days, you know.
Yeah.
And actually, what you hear is that not too long ago, maybe a week, 2, 3 weeks max, in another village in the human kingdoms, uh, and it's the village of. I need to make sure that I have the correct village over here. Nope, that's not it. That's not it. Mm. At the village of Tahina, can you help me remind me about the village where you had a session in the play-by text? Was that on? You came from Bridgeton, right?
Oh yeah, we came from Bridgeton and traveled to the west.
Was
And then
was
it
it in
was the
Sudbury or
greater.
in Kilfall that happened? I think it was in the first village, right?
It wasn't the first one, yeah, I
Okay,
do think
then
so.
you hear note about a event that happened in Sudbury.
Oh,
What you
was it
hear,
steam methods?
what you hear is that apparently there's a big bathhouse there that quite some people use. It's one of the reasons why Sudbury is as big a small town as it is. And apparently, what happened there is that for some reason, and nobody was able to explain it, there has been some researchers or wizards even been going there, as what you've heard. There was in the steam bath, there was this activity where they produce a lot of steam, and apparently somehow because of the steam or during the steam, a lot of steam methods started arising,
Oh,
and within mere seconds only, there was a huge whirlwind of steam methods around the entire bathhouse, and it was a column at least 400 or 500 foot high, which then, after about 30 seconds, the entire column just disappeared. And the last
collapsed?
thing, it disappeared. The entire column,
Oh,
all the
okay.
methods that were basically the column was a twister, a whirlwind of only methods. So there were millions of these creatures, um,
Wow.
which just suddenly disappeared. And the only thing that people seem to remember from this is that the last thing that people claim to have seen in this big tornado or whirlwind was the face of a woman in agony.
Hey, face of woman, agony.
And this definitely
Didn't
sounds quite similar to what you've experienced. Like,
didn't
especially
didn't.
because it was so sudden, because there were methods involved. Yeah.
Oh no, never mind. I seem to remember that there was some form of lady of air or something, but it's a lord, so never mind. Okay.
uh, Let me see. And then you also wanted to placate the leaders of Bridgeton.
Yes.
to make sure that everything's all right in there.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that they do know that this was not something that was premeditated, that the noble house of Dorman did not preconceive such a disruptive event at a birthday party. It was not part of the festivities. And I would also like to use those news as proof that this is not a singular event, basically, but that there seems to be something weird happening. I'm not going to go into detail and I'm not going to tell them about the prophecy or anything, but I will let them know that the noble house of Dormwind is going to investigate this on behalf of all the citizens and making sure that if we can do something about it, it won't happen again, basically.
Okay. Why don't you roll for me a insight check,
Persuasion. Ah, okay.
a persuasion check.
Is that RPG related? Should I roll with Ali's die, or
Yeah,
would you like me to roll
yeah,
it in
you
fantasy
can
ground?
roll however you want. Basically,
Okay.
you can roll a performance check, sorry, the persuasion check, like how well you talk to these people. A insight
Yeah.
check that represents how well you feel these people and how well you can, how well you know how
Feel them
to
out.
talk to these specific people.
Okay.
And you could also add a, no, let's just keep it at those two.
Okay. I'm starting with insight to see if I can read them right, so I will find the right words. So, oh, that's a good one. That is a 19 on insight.
Okay, the if you want to placate the higher ups, there's only one thing
Yeah.
you need: money.
Money? Yeah, that's why I'm going to send a word to the family leaders to make sure that there are reparations paid for the destroyed properties and stuff like that. So I'm going to
Yeah, your name is even
yeah.
even over here amongst a few of the nobility
Mhm,
is trustworthy enough for
mhm.
them to be plactated, maybe.
Okay, I'm going to smear honey around
Yeah, exactly.
them up with
Like honey cakes, only with money. Money cakes.
exactly money cakes. So
And another thing
persuade.
you were doing is actually
Yeah.
you sent a few letters
Yes.
to your who did you send letters to again?
I sent a whole bunch of letters. I sent a letter to my sister in who's a divination professor at the University of Barad-dûr,
Hmm.
and I sent a letter to my sister who's high priestess of Adri Fenya, the goddess of wind and air and birds in Elun. And I sent a letter to the leaders of my house, basically my parents and my four quadruplet sisters who are treasury master and leader of house,
The
diplomacy,
important people now
mistress,
that your parents
important people, right?
given the task away at their age,
Yeah.
right?
And
Uh,
one not so well done letter is going to go to my two brothers who are airship captains. It's something. The other ones I sent them to you. They were very stilted and
can
very.
you
I mean,
just can you
would you like me to read the
read
introduction?
read one of the paragraphs that you think is most interesting? Because she sent me these letters. I spent about half an hour reading through three letters because I had to read through them because I
Several
didn't
times.
understand what it said. It took me so long to understand what it said. So just go ahead and
Yeah.
give us an
So
excerpt of of one of your letters.
those are letters that are written on this very heavy and fine parchment with this
Perfume on it.
beautiful, yeah, maybe a little bit of perfume, but important is that it's very high quality paper or parchment, and it's written in this very beautiful blue colored ink in the storm wind blue color, basically. And it's almost like calligraphy. It's more like art. So she maybe spent a half an afternoon just writing those letters so they would look pristine. There is not an ink spot somewhere on that paper. It just looks like if you would write it today with the right font on in Word or in another program and print it out. She did that by hand,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, perfect.
And the most stilted one is to the leaders of the house, because those are the ones that she's the youngest of the house, so she's farthest away from them, and they are owed some form of dignity, and they are elves, so they do have a lot of time. So it starts very, very. It's like a 15th century letter, basically.
Okay.
And in the beginning, or at the top, there stands, to my most esteemed father, Erithil, my treasured mother, Priscilla, and the four pillars that hold our noble house up to the high and venerated place that it belongs to, my brilliant as they are fair sisters, Arona, Arumil, Arisali, Aritha, residing in the time-honored hall of gilded wings, the manor of the noble house of Dormwind in Illum. Right worshipful, and my most entirely beloved family, in the most lowly manner I recommend unto your good graces, beseeching you daily and nightly of your blessing, ever more desiring to hear of our house's welfare and prosperity, the which I pray to Adri Fenya to continue and increase to my family's united heart's desire. And if it like your good kinship to hear of me and how I do, at the making of this letter I was in good health of body, thanked be the Lady of Air and Wind, our winged mother. And this is the beginning,
This
and
is only a small part of it.
it's only a small part of it.
And can you just can you TLDR what you just said?
This is just to my father and sisters. I hope you are well, and if it interests you, I'm well.
That's it.
I'm also well. So it's just, hi, how are you? I'm good.
Yeah, basically.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
sup. Basically,
What's
sup.
up? Yeah.
Yeah, you sent off these letters. Also, your retainers have left earlier than you guys have.
Mhm.
So after a few days, they've gone.
Yeah.
So you spent a few of your last days in Bridgeton doing
Mhm.
that.
So I gave two of the letters. No, that's not right. Three of the letters to my aunt, the Bard of Ice, who's going to travel back to Ilum because she is trustworthy with such missives. Because although they are written in a very stilted manner, they hold important information about
Mhm.
everything that happened here, with whom I'm going to travel, and stuff like that. There's also the continuity of the contract that I or my family hold with Lorenzo,
Yeah,
one
also
of
about
our
the additional
security
cash that they need to
members.
send for plaque dating these
Yeah.
people here.
Yeah, I wrote them about what was damaged and that there are reparations that have to be made and stuff like that.
Okay.
And those three letters, the one to the sister who's a cleric, and the family is they are going to leave with my aunt, and the letter to my sister in the university is going to travel with my three retainers, because they are going to help her search through the archives
Yeah.
and stuff like that. They're going to send us hopefully information, because I hope that my sister, being an esteemed professor that she is, may be able to give me sending some form of can means, so we will get information that is can be
Useful.
applied to the situation that we find ourselves in right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I'm just basically spreading the word around the family in a way and fashion that certain members need to hear it.
And that they actually know that you're out there and being a hero.
Mhm. Yeah, and that I'm trying to uphold our
Your
family's
dormant name.
name.
Okay.
Exactly.
Um.
So that is one thing that I wanted to do. And the other thing was, I wanted to try. I have this rod of divination.
Yeah. Can I tell you about that?
And
What you do with that?
yeah,
So
please.
you wanted to spend some time
Mhm,
together with Barash, who's not here yet, still,
mhm,
to see what this might have had to do with the language that Barash learned. So you try to do some experiments with your aunt as well, and it does not seem to have any connection between the language and the rod. The only connection between those people and the rod seems to be is that when your aunt holds on to this rod, the element of water lights up on the rod,
okay.
and she starts pointing it towards the southeast of where you are at the moment. As
Mhm.
soon as Barash holds the rod, it will point towards the southwestern direction.
Oh, right. That was something we figured out last time. That most likely, because
Yeah,
of their connection, they are being pulled towards the
exactly.
breach
Exactly.
or whatever portal to
Exactly.
the elemental plane that is connected to their personal abilities, right?
Yeah,
And
but
how about the languages?
language did not seem to have anything to do with it.
So my aunt can't speak the language of water
Nope,
by holding it. So why
unfortunately
could
not.
Hmm. And if I hold the rod Langer and experiment in those 5 days together with Barash, am I able to understand the Aether and learn Ignal? No?
No, you can't.
Oh, bummer. Okay.
You know what? Roll a still roll an investigation for me. Just because you're thinking about this, how could this be?
Yeah.
How did he learn this overnight?
Oh, yeah. That's not. I'm not really good at investigating stuff. It's a 14.
14.
Hmm.
You think he actually learned it overnight when he wasn't around, if you know what I mean.
While he was sleeping, basically.
He
I'm
never
going
slept.
to. I hold this thing while I'm in trance. The snake.
No, he never slept, but he did spend a
Oh.
entire night with a certain friend that you've made in a certain
Um.
state that he was in.
Hmm.
Have you ever heard about this thing called like learning in your sleep
Oh
and
yeah.
having a cassette recorder on the background? Imagine having an Azer talking like all about his battle stories and the stories in his childhood to this guy he's caring for an entire night in a certain state where he's quite prone to
Oh.
learn stuff.
Oh, I see. But I'm not going to drink that stuff. So. I see. Hmm. I will keep that in mind.
Yeah, you think it's also more maybe about the personal connection that these two have as
Mhm.
well. They seem to
Yeah.
have this innate connection, maybe because of the way they are, maybe because of their own elemental background that they have. You don't know, but maybe it has something to do with that as well.
Hmm.
But you
I
don't
see.
think it's actually a magical thing that taught him this.
I see. Okay. It was just a theory of mine that maybe
Yeah.
the rod being connected to the elements gave him the ability to understand the Aether. So that would have been very handy. Hmm.
Okay, Lorenzo.
Yes.
As I understand, you wanted to do some more work around the town to see if you could earn another bit of coin. Maybe even have a possibility to see who are the people that you're dealing with on the ship itself.
Ideally, yeah, he's going to try and get his work down by the docks. If he can get a job on the ship that they're actually on, even better. But yeah, just try and ingratiate himself with the captain, the crew, find out who they are, where they're going, what kind of things they could expect.
A job on the ship, not per se, because they have their own guards that they have for the direct protection of the ship and
But
direct
he'd go for
protection of the
deckhand or
car.
whatever. He's not necessarily into the security factor.
Oh, if you want to
He's happy
if
enough.
you want to haul stuff, then there's a job for you there. Yeah. So you get maybe even have a chance to get to know the people on the ship a bit because you do find the ship that you're going to be traveling on. And further, besides that, you can roll. You'll be working, so I'll consider that as work downtime as well. Let's see. I guess because you're hauling and climbing a lot, let's make that an acrobatics or an athletics check.
21 for
Okay.
acrobatics.
Okay. So you seem to be doing quite well on the ship, and you get an additional bit of coinage out of it. Another thing is because you seem to be connecting to a few of the crew members, and here and there you roll a bit of a die or play a bit of a card game. So overall, over these 5 days, you earn 25 gold pieces.
Sweet.
Another thing, because you're hanging out with the crew a bit, you actually meet a few. So what you notice is that on the boat there's a captain. The captain is a female human called Zara Garrick.
Okay.
She's a friendly but quite stern female. She's been traveling this trader's route that's been traveled for quite some time. So she's a practiced and experienced captain as well. The crew do seem to trust her with all their heart and seem to be on this ship for quite some time. Besides that, there's Ars Iathlas, ARS space IATHLAS. It's a burly looking elf that has an eye patch. It's the first mate of the ship. He's a person that looks out for his own crew, and he's one that you notice over at least for the first day and a half, who's been keeping a quite eye on big eye on you, even if you didn't, if you seemed a bit lost as to what to do. He came towards you and actually tried to help you out quite a bit with what you needed. But he was quite rough about it. It's not really a smooth talker. Besides that, there's a dwarven cook called Jafar. You don't see him a lot because he's usually in the kitchen. And you meet another few crew members, but just by name. You don't meet them, too much of them, because most of the time you're still working, right? There's a human called Kamaria. That's a female human who usually scrubs the decks and keeps everything spick and span. Then you have Lyle, who's a human. He is usually doing some random chores around the ship, and whenever someone needs to go down outside the ship for outside repairs, he's the one to go out. And then there's a halfling called Megan, and she's one to go up into the ropes and in the
Crow's nest.
in the crow's nest. Yeah, there's not really a crow's nest per se, but there is some room up there that she usually hangs at.
Sweet.
So is there anything else you want to do knowing these people or during these days, or is it just work that you're interested in?
Just whatever he can do to earn himself some extra gold.
Alright, so just generally...
So as part of the work, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
If you can glean any sort of information about where they're headed or what they might expect from the crew, he'd try and potentially get that out of them in conversation, but...
So what do you say to... Yeah, but like on the evening, you're just after the being ready and done on the boat, you're on your way out and you can have a chance to talk with a few of the people. So what do you talk about?
Yeah, share a few drinks with them in taverns overnight and that kind of thing if they were amenable to it, and just, yeah, if they've travelled the route before, try and get an idea of what lies ahead.
Okay, yeah, I can roll a persuasion then. And actually, you can roll this one with advantage because you've been doing quite good job at work as well. So you're being looked at as some sort of a newbie, but some sort of a somewhat respected crew member as well, you know?
Okay, 23.
Oh, that's great. So what you hear is that along the waterway, about halfway at the halfway point, for a few months now, there's a point in the waterway that's been a bit lower. So the water's been lower.
Okay.
And it might be the case that they would have to haul some of the cargo out to get the ship across during that route, and that's something that you learn during talking to these people.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about what you learn.
Splendid. That'll do for me.
So is there anything else you wanted any of you guys want to still talk about? Maybe stuff you learned? There's still some chance to RP because I hope Hendrik's actually gonna be here.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head. I would be interested in knowing if and what Lorenzo's actually earned for his security detail job.
You earned the same amount as Xander because you were in the close amount, so say 75 gold for the entire few days that you were there.
Alright, so 100, that's all. Sweet.
I was wondering if there is some form of library or someone who's known to be. I mean, there must someone else beside those stupid wizards in the city who knows something about elements, right?
Let's hope.
I banished the dungeon master. Quick, take control.
Usurp him.
Okay, so
now we can
sadly,
hear you.
sadly enough, there's no one there. At least you've been looking around in between the hours. You are doing nothing or eating, but there's no one there who knows anything about the elementals for sure. Except for those 3 stupid wizards, but they don't know any more than they already told you.
And it's that one orc cleric, right?
Sorry?
He gave us that one orc cleric, Sandra's friend, who healed Barrage last time.
Ah, yes, the half orc.
Yeah. Oh, half orc.
What do you want to know about him? Sorry.
He was giving us part of the orcish part of the prophecy, I think. So those are the only people who know anything about this. I guess. Right? There's no library where we can read up on the history of the Isle of Dread or something. Putting you on the spot, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's no worries. That's I've been in close discussion. There's nothing I can say, but I don't think there's anyone in Bridgeton who knows any more than the information you already have at this moment. So if you want to know more, you either have to go to the university in Barra-Dûr or go to the Dread Isle itself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sending the retainers there, so they will find out what there is to learn. I trust my auntie that she's going to find important information. So, you guys, from my standpoint, I feel like we learned most of the things that we can learn in 5 days here, right?
Seems it.
Just to clarify on my behalf, soon as I want the island. Yes?
You're breaking out a bit.
Yeah.
Is it any better or?
Now I heard you, so that is...
Yeah.
Okay, makes no sense. Just for my clarification, I wasn't here for the last session. We are heading to the Isle of Dread. That's our actual destination, yeah? Okay.
Exactly.
Yes.
We confirmed that this must be the closest location of some form of portal, or where the, I don't know, veil is thin, I guess, between the planes.
It's a point of interest, either way.
I think what's very interesting, I guess that we are sitting in the tavern, right? In the Broken Shield Inn right now, around the table drinking.
Yeah, that's where you usually meet up, so...
What our fiery friend told us is that they were having trouble with methods. So they are not originally from where he's from. I don't know if that just means they are from another town or from another plane. I'm a bit fuzzy about this whole different planes thing. But from what I heard, those problems were very recent. So they first ended up there and now they're here. If this is like a layer cake, so maybe they are breaking through. There are enough of them that it's not only troubling the fire plane, but our plane as well now. So maybe there is even more trouble brewing that we don't know of, if those methods really are not native to the elemental plane of fire as the Azer knows it.
Yeah, you have the possibility to communicate with the Asia through Barrage. So you have the possibility to ask him questions about what he knows, maybe about what you've heard.
I would very much like to know what the method is.
He's called Ragnis, by the way.
Ragnis?
Ragnis, the Azer.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I wrote that down. It sounds like a fire, right?
Like a burning campfire.
As I understand it, I'm not familiar with what a method is. Are they the kind of thing that would normally fight against these fire beings, such as our friend here?
Well, what you translate through Barrage, so I'm gonna be the translator for you then in this case.
Okay.
Methods are beings that we see sometimes near our borders, but they usually are either friendly or they're not amassed as much as we have seen along our borders when I got pulled towards here.
Are the creatures beholden to anyone?
As far as I know, not. They are basically almost the essence of the elemental powers themselves. Like, they are not created necessarily. What we know about them is that they just are. They just be and exist, and they appear out of the elemental magics and raw powers themselves.
A physical manifestation of the magic.
Exactly.
What is
And-
interesting to me, if I may just jump in for a moment, if I understand it right, those methods that accompanied you here, that you were fighting with, they were magma methods, right?
That's true.
And I have information that in the bathhouse they have something that was called a steam method.
A steam
I-
method.
Yeah.
I
Does that
I
mean
haven't
anything?
heard of these before, so they might have been from another place. But if they are
Um,
methods, then they must be the same kind of. They must have the same source of existence.
I might be on the total wrong path here, my friends, but what if, I don't know, if you have magma, that's basically molten earth, right? And steam is just water, superheated, that is floating in the air. So what does that mean? Is the method maybe, um, does the magic create them when those elemental planes overlap, basically? And there was some corruption that you felt, Sandra, as you were playing, and my aunt felt as well. So maybe there is a corruption that creates those methods that are not really of the plane of fire, not really of the plane of earth, but some form of mixture, and that is what corruption is about, the overlapping of those
Well,
places.
we've had magma methods our entire existence as far as our knowledge goes back. But like
Okay.
I said, we didn't have a lot of them, and if they were never harmful. They were actually quite friendly, as we know.
Not once have you ever had issue with them?
No, usually not.
Usually.
Well, maybe once or twice in the past few thousand years, but that wasn't a lot.
Nothing like
It's
what you
been
are
troubling us
experiencing now.
mostly over the past few years.
And how was it stopped the first few times?
Well, I'm not really sure. I wasn't there yet. They have created me out of a need for more smiths and more forces to hold our borders.
Hmm. So this is something new. Hostile methods attacking Azer.
Attacking methods is something new for sure.
Okay.
Well, if you call the last few years recent, but yeah, over the past few thousand years, as long as we know, we haven't had any issues.
You are very closely connected to the fire. Did you feel some form of corruption before you were pulled over in our world?
Not that I know of. I was there and suddenly I was here. I don't know what happened.
And you didn't feel irgendwie some kind of weirdness?
No.
You say you were created for the presumed battles you are facing?
Yes, was created by similar of my kin.
How many of your kin are there?
There used to be only a few supplying the rest of the plane of fire with our weapons and tools. However, over the past few years, we have arisen to over a few hundred.
A few hundred. Against how many?
Again, sorry?
Against how many?
Tens of thousands.
At that, Xander spits out his mouthful of scotch. Not at the table or anyone in particular, but does a spit take and starts coughing at the
I
innumerable number of the situation.
I'm going to assume that things are not going so well.
We are still holding as far as we are, but I'm not sure for how long we will be able to, because there's not just methods that have been troubling us.
And what
What
else?
else?
Bigger elemental beings, strange abominations here or there.
Describe them.
We've seen creatures that came forth from rock and molten rock and just created other beings out of rock themselves. We've seen skilled creatures with lots of legs and paws and strange husks on their backs. We've seen um, mm, we've seen giant black things with lots of legs. We've seen all weird stuff.
Hmm.
And you have had no communication from any of them?
No, because most of these either we have not seen before or they were friendly and native towards our own plane.
Are you sure that these are not a new form of your fire element? Perhaps they are a new species.
Well, if they're a new species, then they're quite new because we have never seen them before. Some of them. And as I said, the others were usually friendly, even had settlements within our own borders.
So all of these new creatures were hostile,
Most of them were, yes.
and they are working together, or are they also infighting?
Um, well, we were mostly busy defending ourselves, so we
Hmm.
haven't really been watching what they were doing amongst themselves.
Who is coordinating your defenses?
Uh, well, we have our own leaders and lords in our kingdoms.
I see. Do you all operate individually, or are you have a connected mind?
Well, we usually work individually and just have our own settlements, but as soon as this horror started happening, we all tried to band together because that was the only way we were able to try to stand against this.
And these issues, these new creatures that have been created, these have been appearing for years.
A few years now, yes. I
But
think
we are only just beginning to see
a few,
evidence of
a
the
f-
problems in our world.
yeah, a few years, maybe three, 400.
Three, four hundred.
That is not a few.
Oh, it is not?
Well, it's
No.
arguable.
How
Say
old are you? You
Me,
said you were created recently. What is that?
I think only about 1,000 years ago.
See Lorenzo just rolling his eyes.
I get. I guess that is a few.
Well, even measured to the lifespan of my people, that is long.
Well, we do not require food, we do not require sleep, we do not require anything. We are just created for a purpose. Uh, the fact that we have, since our creation has started, had the chance to also strive for things for ourselves, has just made us better at what we do.
Hmm.
What happens when your purpose is complete?
Our purpose is never complete. There's
So
always a better
say,
bit of armor or better weapon to craft.
So you spent the last 1,000 years making armor and weapons and fighting.
No, since my creation, I've been mostly crafting, but
Mhm.
I was also making weapons and armor for our first few brethren that have been defending the borders.
But
And this is what you were doing when you came here.
No, at that point I was fighting myself.
Because the battle swept into your maybe workplace?
Well, we used to have only a small force of defenses around, and in the end, we all needed to help out because there's only so much border you can protect with so many people.
I see. That sounds like you're in a very dire, like your people are in a very dire situation.
Oh well, we manage. We always have. We are strong folk.
Strong is not indefeatable.
I need another drink. Xander walks off. He can't comprehend any of this.
My concern, Lady Domlind, is that if this is happening in the plane of fire and we are getting fire methods or magma methods in our world, and you now have evidence of those possibly affected by water, this may be happening in all the planes.
If I read what we have and from the snippets from this prophecy, right, then I do think that this is what is going on here, yeah. This is a very dire scenario, and we really have to cut this. We have to nip this in the bud before more of those. I just heard him talk about abominations. Someone who's 1,000 years old and spent his whole life doing nothing but crafting armor and weapons and fighting says those are bad. I shudder to
That
think
says
what
something, right?
if such a creature would waltz through Bridgeton or through the holy forest of Egg. I mean,
this is my concern. If it is affecting the entire world, we may have to consider increasing my fee.
Oh, okay, Sam. If you didn't have inspiration yet, you're gonna get one right now for that.
Sweet.
I don't know if you had someone, but if
I think I do. Whatever. I've got it now.
you got it now, because that's definitely worth one.
I see what you're saying. Well, you did agree to prolonging the terms of your contract as it was written.
This is a fair point.
And you have to consider that you're not alone. I'm not just some wilting damsel in distress.
Of course you are not. And on that note, you reminded me that I have something for you. And he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a very long, very thin, finally decorated box. Yes.
Finally, that took you only 4 sessions.
Two. I wasn't there for the others.
Yeah, okay, but
so he pulls this box out and he slides it across the table to you. This was supposed to be for your birthday, but given the circumstances, the timing never seemed quite right. It's very difficult to give someone a gift when you're dodging fireballs.
Oh yeah, that is true.
So, belated, but there you are.
That is so sweet.
And as you open this up, what you find is a very ornate, finely jeweled hairpin.
Oh.
With a little, what's the stonewing colours? That sort of blue colour. There's a little gem like that encrusted at the very end.
Installment blue.
Yeah, in that blue colour.
Sorry, Dormant blue.
Dormant blue.
Yes,
Dormant
blue,
yeah.
in that colour. And
exact. There's no. You've seen people try this before, but this is the most near to it that you've seen so far. So.
Wow.
And as you pick it up to take it out, you realise it moves. And as you pull you realise it moves. And as you pull one side, you realise there's a really thin stiletto blade actually hidden inside it.
I look at this and my eyes are starting to glow and sparkle. And I'm like, yes, it's amazing. I could have used that in the fight against you. This is perfect.
This is the plan. A beautiful lady needs a beautiful way to defend herself. And we cannot always carry a bow into battle.
So Xander comes back to the table with a tray of it has a goblet of wine for
which wine?
Allie.
Which wine? Important question. Which wine? Do you remember?
Let me check my notes. I'm thorough, but I don't know if I'm that thorough.
Illyria is leaning over the table and gives Lorenzo a quick kiss on the cheek.
Aww.
Thank you. This is
It plays.
Oh, it's perfect. And she's going to pull her long purplish black hair together and puts the pin right in there. What does it look like?
It's such a perfect
Ah,
matches the color of your eyes.
So,
oh.
So how
If
many
we
hidden
are
blades
all-
do we have amongst the party now?
Sorry, what?
How many hidden blades do we have amongst the party? We have hidden blades in wrists. We have hidden blades in boots. We have hidden blades in hairpins.
Hurdy-gurdies.
We have, we have hidden
Yeah,
blades in
yeah.
hurdy-gurdies.
So,
And I have the tie sheet for the daggers, right? So I'm very.
I feel like I'm the
well
only one that
defended.
doesn't have a hidden blade. I'm
and you're the
losing out.
rogue.
Yeah.
And you're the rogue. Think about
so
that.
the answer to the question of the wine that I got for Allie
Mhm.
is the same one that she has been drinking.
Ah.
So
Good
which
one.
one have you been drinking,
Safe.
Ali?
I have been drinking this very sweet honey wine that
The good one,
yeah.
the good stuff, not the elven
Good stuff.
sour shit.
Yeah, because if you are in a human city and in a human not really human, but in a human city in an inn, then you drink honey meat, right?
Yeah, honey wine. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, a goblet of that, and 3, or well, 1, 2, 3, 4.
5.
Shot?
Yeah, 5 brandies,
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, sure.
and I pass one to Brontes. I put one in front of Barash. I put one in front of Lorenzo and said, "Yeah, but I got her heels."
What you're saying is that you press the button to the top.
And while you set down these brandies, Ragnar moves his finger across the top of the shot glasses, and a little flame starts burning at the top of it. And he gives a big smile towards you and a nod.
I sit down with 2 in front of me, and I look at the Azer, and I'm like, I look at Brontes. I'm like, he doesn't eat or drink, right?
And you see him also move his hand like he doesn't need anything, and you haven't seen him eat or drink anything. He doesn't need it.
All right,
He
good.
may not need it. Does not necessarily mean he cannot ingest it.
Yeah, but I think I'm going to need both of these.
You can't
he's
stand
just-
on one leg, right? I say and raise my class.
Xander is looking at both of them as if he doesn't know which one to drink from. And he slides one to the middle of the table. He's like, I may need that later. And just starts like loudly sipping, like as he just kind of stares into space.
Santa's
Lorenzo,
out of it,
meanwhile,
or
just
what?
raises his glass.
Is this all beyond Xander, or?
Yeah, no, he has it. He's never experienced anything outside of city life, and now he's hearing about. Oh yeah, 1,000 years, 200 is a few. He's probably heard about the steam methods and the face of the woman in the smoke, and he's just like, fuck.
What did I get myself into?
Yeah, pretty much.
I put my hand on yours if it's resting on the table, and I give it a gentle pat and say, I can tell by your features that you are a half elf. Have you been raised by human or by humans?
Oh, both.
Oh, which of your parent is the elf, if I may be so bold to ask, as he's sipping my wine?
My ma.
And
Yeah,
did she
his
not-
dad did well.
Okay.
Which he has always stated in conversation everywhere he's gone.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, but it's so perfect. If your mother is an elf, that means that she must love you very much and must have wanted to have you.
Exactly. That's another thing, because elves in my world, they birth by choice, so they cannot get pregnant if they not choose to get pregnant. So if you get a half elf child that's not from two half elves, because half elves can't. If you get a half elf child from a elf and a non elf, it means that there's absolutely love at stake and deep
Mhm.
love, because elves have a way different way to they look at life and love than humans do. Marriage is something that's barely done within the elves, because marriage is a thing you do for life, and life is long as an elf.
Oh yes.
So
So
Okay.
polyamory and stuff like that within elves is a very common thing, and it's more that you have a lot of stuff to share with a lot of different people you meet over a long period of time. You meet people, you
Mhm.
find them again, you may never see them again or find them again way later.
so
Right.
are you in your first century?
Oh
How
yeah.
old are you? Do
Oh
you count your years by with 2 or 3 numbers?
we can get into three fingers.
How much of those did you have? I pointed at shot glasses and blush. I guess you
Whatever.
are not over 100, so you're still too young.
No, I'm 35 by human standards.
I look shocked.
Det best nu een megentype,
Like
doet dat even niet. Doet dat even niet.
35.
Nee,
Yeah.
niet dan.
So
It explains the lack of sophistication.
Hey, hey,
he's
hey.
late. We cannot take him
I
with
just-
us to battle.
just
I
bought
said
you a
to
drink.
Lorenzo, shocked.
Lorenzo is at least grinning mischievously at you. You can tell it's meant in jest.
No, I know. And he's like, hey, drink your drink.
As you insist.
I'm going into battle with children.
So
I say
is
to
there,
the
We're
Azer.
practically, if we get into mathematics, we're practically the same age, with fractional wise.
Relatively.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you guys want to talk about, or was that it for
We're
now?
going to take the Azer with us, right? We're going to take Ragnus with us.
Yeah, you paid for him,
Yes.
so he's gonna join you.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's going to be handy in a fight because he has fought methods for a long time, it seems, right?
Yeah.
Just do us a favor and stay away from the rigging. It's highly flammable.
Oh yes. That's a
You've
good
already
point.
seen that Ragnus has the ability to lower his flames, and even if he at this point you can actually touch him, even while there's still some flame on him, it doesn't feel warm. It doesn't feel hot, and he seems to be able to turn this up and on.
I hope you have at least let the captains of the ship know that you're bringing a bonfire aboard.
The ship's captain knows about this. Yeah. This is something that's clearly communicated by Ali's retainers. So
It seemed kind of important.
You do not need flame to survive out there, do you?
no, I don't.
Good. I have no intention of creating any.
Give me the air around me, and I'll burn forever.
That could be interesting information.
So you go to bed. This was your last night before you head off onto the ship. It's gonna be an early morning and next morning, so this might be a good spot to put in a little break. See if we can get a hold of Hendrik, because I have no idea what's going on. So for the people out there, we'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes. So don't go anywhere, because we will be back.
And we
Ciao.
have gentleman issues.
See you in a bit. Hello everybody, we're back. Back from our break. Unfortunately, Hendrik still isn't here yet. We're just going to continue with the game as we are. So before the break, the party decided on the last things before starting their journey of a few weeks eastward toward the Dread Isle, on which they hope to find more information about what the fuck is going on. Yeah, swearing is free in this game, guys.
I'll stop putting money in the jar.
You travel. The next morning, you all wake up. You pack your bags. You do not need any rations or anything because you will get your food on the ship itself. They have a cook called Jafar over there that Lorenzo told you about. He didn't see quite a lot of them, but he did snack here or there from the stuff he made, and it wasn't bad. So it wasn't Roger's standards, but it wasn't bad.
Okay.
And
That's the burly elf, right?
No, that's the
It's
dwarf.
a dwarf, yeah.
Ah,
and Roger is the one from the Broken Shield Inn.
that I know, yeah.
Yeah. And you go to the Golden Horse, which is the ship that will take you eastward. And on the front of it, there's actually a horse on its back to legs, like it's trying to
Rearing up?
yeah, rearing up on the bow of the ship.
Yeah, the
Bow.
bow.
Yeah.
'Cause I have someone who knows a lot about ships, so I think. I think it might be a good idea to give all the ship shit to my co-DM, because
You can blame him then.
nah, this is actually planned. So good luck on Johan.
Serieus, ik kreeg de kans te
Let me see. Is it is it a true horse or is it a Pegasus?
It is whatever Johan makes of it.
Johan, you have the power! Seize control.
Usurp him.
I think in fairness, Lorenzo's going to be eyeing that up as they go along and just thinking to himself, I wonder if there's a smuggling compartment inside.
By the way, last evening, now and then, Alleria was pulling the pin out and looking at it with this puzzled expression, like, huh. Finally, a birthday present. Except
I would
box
highly
and
recommend
stuff.
getting that coated in some very lethal poison as soon as you can.
Ooh, that's a good idea, actually. And maybe those two, I say, and I click the boots together and the daggers spring out of there as well. I need poison. That is a yes, good suggestion.
You are already beginning to think like an assassin.
Well, how much do you know about House Storm, then? Since you have a contract with us.
So,
I'm afraid it is lethal.
yes, are you guys ready?
Not as much as I would like.
We are ready, yes.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
are talking in character.
Okay, well, while you embark on the ship, you can still see a few crewmates handling some crates, putting the last bits aboard. You can see the first mate standing behind the wheel, shouting some orders. Some people casting off lines, and then when the final crates are packed downstairs, they cast off the last line. They pull up the sails, and you embark on your journey on the Golden Horse.
Can you remind me what the name of the captain was? Jafar is the cook? And the captain?
First cook, the captain, I didn't write her name down because I had no clue how to spell it.
Zara.
She's a human female, I can tell you that much.
The captain's called Zara Garrick.
Zara Garrett. Illyria will walk up the gangway and go up to the, what is this? Deck, whatever, where the captain is.
Yeah, okay, that's.
And not at
The helm.
at the helm. Very good.
I don't know where that came from.
The helm's the wheel is usually on the
That is
forecast.
bardic inspiration. That is.
The forecast?
I know some of the stuff in German. I'm so smart in German. I promise. So Illyria is going to walk up to the captain and gives her a gracious nod and says, "Good morning, Captain Garrick." I
Good
hope all is
morning.
in order for us to sail.
Well, good morning there, young lady. How, of course, everything is in order for your stay on the ship.
Wonderful.
And
What's your prediction? How long will we, with this weather, how long will it take?
it will take about 3 weeks, give or take,
Good.
if the wind is strong.
What does your sailor gut feeling tell you? Is the wind going to be with us?
Yeah, the wind's gonna be fine.
You know, as you were, I say not to her and leave the helm. I just learned something. I just wanted to greet the captain. It's just,
Okay, yeah, that's
this is the
fine.
proper thing to do. I'm looking for my quarters.
You're looking for your quarters. You can descend one deck below the main deck. There's not really much space for guests. That's not like everybody has a separate room. There's a place where you can sit and sleep, but it's not really like an inn or something. It's not that everybody has separate rooms. There's not much privacy because hey, it's a boat and they mostly ship cargo, so you have to sleep wherever you want.
So almost like a bunkhouse.
Yeah.
There are no rooms.
Yeah, there are no
Not
rooms.
even for special guests?
Well, you could try asking the captain if you could sleep with her, but if you want.
Okay.
There is no great harm in sleeping up on deck. You get the lovely sea breeze, get the beautiful.
I guess I will find out, right?
What? Sorry?
I'm going to find out if that is nice to stay on deck. The good thing is that I don't really sleep.
Yeah.
I say to Lorenzo.
Sorry, say again?
I say the good thing is that I don't really sleep.
Then you have nothing to complain about.
Yeah, but I would have liked my own room. This is a bit unseemly, but yeah. I suppose if one is off to save the world, one must make do what they are provided.
There is perhaps a way we can rectify this. Give me time.
What are you suggesting?
You will see. I will require some supplies, but it may take a day or two.
Interesting.
Well, we got plenty of time.
That we do.
Oh, yes.
So, what Lorenzo's going to try and attempt to do, where's the cargo located on the ship? Is it below decks or what?
Sorry, the what? The cargo.
The cargo.
Yeah, well, it's there's the main deck above, the one without a roof. There's one below it, and then there's the cargo hold that's right on top of the queue. So there's actually just one deck, and that's where people have to sleep. There's also cargo there, but it's more important cargo and less heavier cargo than the one all the way down.
That's up on deck, yeah?
Sorry?
So you got the less important cargo up on deck.
You want to put cargo?
So on the open section of the ship at the top.
You want to put cargo on top of the deck?
No, it is there cargo on there.
No, there isn't.
No, there's no cargo on deck.
That's fine. So what Lorenzo's going to try and do is he's going to go into the cargo hold. Now he's going to be trying to work his way around the ship and get more used to being on one. Try and work his ship proficiency with the downtime they've got during travel, if possible. But he's going to go down to the cargo hold and try rearranging some of the cargo a little bit so that he can basically make almost a walled-off area with the crates and put a tarp over it.
Okay. What cargo do you move? Where do you move it?
Basically, whatever's going to be able to make a small, and I mean like just enough room for a bed, small chamber almost. So literally just a couple crates, stack them enough that he can get, I don't know, say 5-6 feet of wall out of them maybe. I'd imagine they're pretty packed in there anyway, so he'll just utilize what they can, even if he has to build it on top of the crates.
Okay. So basically, you're gonna try and build a room downstairs.
In essence, yes.
Okay.
Just moving the crates around, putting a tarp over it, tarp for a door, that kind of thing.
Okay. Yeah. Well, when you're about halfway, you have one wall standing up, starboard. You can hear a scream on top of the deck. Captain, we're going sideways. Something's going wrong. We're off balance. What's happening? You hear a shout, a scream, then some scolding, and someone comes storming below deck. He storms back up. There's a fool downstairs, putting around the cargo. We're gonna sink.
Can I briefly interject to protest this, simply because Lorenzo has in his background kind of got a little bit of experience with ships? I would hope he's smart enough to try and do it in the center of the ship so that he's not going to overbalance anything.
Yeah, okay.
If you want me to roll for it, I'm happy enough to. Whatever you guys feel like.
Yeah,
but I know
sure.
he has got some nautical background, so
Sure,
I don't think he'd make rookie mistakes.
Are we still in port?
Yeah. Make what's the chips? You have any proficiency with chips? Like
Not directly in the
him.
thing now.
saying well, then there's definitely gonna be a survival.
Survival?
And another one with intelligence, but no proficiency.
So you want 2 checks from me, a survival
Yes.
check and... Okay, well, survival is, bear with me, 18. And what was the other one?
An intelligence.
Just straight intelligence or
Yes.
specific skill?
Yeah, because you're not proficient in using ships.
Okay, the intelligence was a nat 20.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, well
Womp,
then.
womp, womp, womp.
But then you just topple over one crate and it falls like, and you can actually feel the whole ship move to the other side, and then everything seems to be perfectly fine.
Splendid.
And you hear some loud on top of the deck, like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah, my bad.
In that moment of the ship shifting, Xander's like, "We're going down! Everybody, we're going down! Get the life rafts! Get your vests!
Okay, you can make a con save.
I'm gonna use.
Okay.
I'm looking around me very, very concerned, ready to jump into the rigging or
Con
something.
save, I got a 12.
12. Well, you feel slightly nauseous, but you're gonna keep everything inside.
Okay.
It's just dry heaving.
Like, oh God! Oh God, we're going down! Oh my God, I'm too young to die! Oh God!
Get it together, man! I know you're only 35, but this is just unseemly behavior, I say, and pat your back. Contenance, please.
So yeah,
Oh,
when
the sea is a
Lorenzo's...
bitch. Oh, she's a terrible mistress.
This is just a river.
The seas are terrible.
Deep breath, soldier.
He's like doing like Lamaze breathing, like.
Oh no.
Okay.
I needed a stiff drink for this bath.
Okay, well, Lorenzo, the captain's gonna come downstairs, and she's gonna check what you're doing for a second. She says, I can see what you're doing, but please don't move too much.
But of course, I have some experience about ships. I will endeavor to keep it a safe position
Okay.
for you all.
Please keep everything in small packages. Don't move large things like that. And she points towards the ton.
Of course not. This is going to be just the one room for the lady, and the rest of us will sleep on deck like men. It is not a problem.
Oh no, yeah, of course. Try your best.
Certainly. I appreciate your patience.
Yes, of course. We've been paid a hefty sum, so
As have I. So you will forgive me if I have to take the lady's needs into account.
you are forgiven.
Allow me to buy you a drink the next time we are at port, perhaps, Captain.
Oh well, certainly. I'll remember that.
And with that, Lorenzo's going to go back to
Okay.
finishing this little room off.
She goes back upstairs. You can hear her scolding, but she sounds a bit more like she's happy in a way or something. More
Relaxed.
more relaxed.
Okay. Perfect. So yeah, once Lorenzo's done, he's going to put a tarp over the top and try and get one more for the doorway, in essence.
Okay. Yeah. You'll manage.
Just to try and provide a bit of modesty. And then he's going to go find Illyria.
Okay. Yeah.
Wherever
Sure.
she may be.
I'm at the front of the ship, where the horse figure is basically looking out, waiting for us to set sail. And it's my first ship journey that is not by airship, so I'm very excited. And I'm trying to keep Xander calm.
Roll a perception check for me, Ali.
Oh, snap.
Okay, perception check.
Nah.
I can do
Yeah.
that. Oh, yeah, that's a good roll. It's a 21.
You think that the actual horse statue is gilded?
Ooh, I like it. I approve.
So yeah,
I
Lorenzo
look
will come
at
up
the
and...
and not to myself like, this is the way to do it.
So Lorenzo will come up and shoot a slightly saying, "Feeling alright, my friend? Do not have the sea legs?"
We're going down. I just got this feeling.
Nonsense, we have not even left the port.
That's actually true.
I look over and I see people on the dock still like people are paused as staring at the scene, and I'm like, oh, those lucky landlubbers.
This is your first time on a ship, isn't it?
I was not made to have wood and water beneath my feet.
Of course you are. You're an elf, a half elf.
This is unnatural.
This is the best place to be.
Think of your proud heritage and get it together, man. I say, losing my cool
Between you and
about
me,
it.
I think he might be one of these type that would be best off tied to the mast for the journey.
I look at Xander.
Give me a. No. Let's.
You look like someone who would like to be tied up.
It is. It is common treatment for the men who run the risk of jumping overboard.
You can hear the first mate scream, "Passengers below deck, we're gonna leave. You'll be in the way."
How
And then
rude.
one of
Never
the
in the
crewmates
way.
comes towards you and starts pushing you quite gently, but also firmly towards.
I'm perfectly capable to walk by myself. Thank you.
Well, this way, miss. This way, please.
As
I'm
they're
not a
pushing us
lady.
down, below deck, I just swing the hurdy-gurdy in front, and I play that. I don't even know what it is, but it's like in Looney Tunes. Whenever there is a ship going down, it's always that tune.
What?
I don't know the name,
I know what you mean.
but it's like very solemn. It's like, so like I'm playing that almost like a dirge as they're pushing me down as they're pushing us down into the hold.
As doomed a violin as you can get from a hurdy-gurdy.
Yeah, exactly.
I have absolutely no idea how that would sound, but whatever. Another sentiment.
It's essentially the same. I'm
And I
fairly
don't
certain.
recognize the tune, so you have to sing it or try to make what it would sound like.
Oh, I can't even think of it. I know a note, if any. It's just almost like a violin dirge.
Is it a do 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 do? No.
Yeah, let's say that. But
Okay.
more drawn out.
Okay. Oh no, he's going to get the whole ship down by being such a mood killer.
Persuasion? Yeah, I can make a persuasion.
Me?
Are you
Yes.
going to persuade us that we're going to sing or what? No, please don't.
I think a bad persuasion score is good in this sense. I got a 5.
There's one crewmate who stumbles by and he looks at you and quite shocked. And he says, don't do that. That's a bad omen. And then he runs off and starts pulling some ropes and strings. And he looks a bit frightened, but by the screams and the scolding of the first mate, you think everything is going just fine.
Lorenzo's going to shoot a look at this panicking sailor. Do not tell him they missed.
Xander would stop at that point and be like, oh, okay, all right, I'll cool out. I'm sorry. It's just you all right. And he's just like mumbling to himself as he's being ushered further along.
One's not so there. Okay.
Now and then I pat your back reassuringly. It's going to be fine.
Oh, all right. Okay. I mean, you know, we're all in this together, right? Right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
you're not
Right.
alone.
Yeah.
We're all.
Yeah. We're all. If it sinks, we all go down. And I'm like, oh no. If we all. And he just like trails off.
Well, you can feel the ship turn, and then when the sails catch some wind, you can actually feel it increase in speed. It's toppling over a little bit to the right.
If we should sink, I say to Sandra to get his thoughts somewhere else. I say, I'm going to give you the kiss of your lifetime, so you won't regret dying. And I pat his back again.
At that, Xander stops and he's like, adjust the imaginary tie. He's like, I hope we die.
That was not exactly what I. Yeah, oh, very good. So we go below deck.
Yes.
Absolutely. And as you get down there, Lorenzo's shell she's built. It is the best I can manage, but it is better than nothing, I think you will find.
Oh, this is perfect. You were building me my own little parlor. That's so thoughtful of you. I highly appreciate it. This is. Thank you so much.
It is nothing.
We were in. It was very fortuitous when we created the contract with you. I was very impressed with your skills, how you were managing the crowds, and when the fighting started. So
you have seen nothing yet.
You are only impressing me more. So.
That man has to earn his keep, does he not?
Oh, I will make sure that there will be a hefty bonus for you in this.
This is all I require.
And I go
Your
in there.
generosity is unbounded.
Just more money.
I promised one a kiss and the other money. Both are happy. So hey, my job is done here.
We're easy to please, blokes.
I will sit down on the makeshift bed and sit cross-legged and meditate. Oh, did we lose our dungeon masters?
I think they're in conference.
Oh dear, that never bodes well. We're not even out of port. And they are plotting against us.
Sounds about right.
And you can, dear viewers, you can only get this at Fumbles and Fame. Other groups are searching for dungeon masters, and we here have, in one group alone,
Yeah, well, we
one
had like
dungeon
3 of them.
master. Oh yes.
Get yourselves in here. Get yourself a DM.
If it's a murder of crows, what is the plural for dungeon masters? I wonder. It's a blessing of unicorns, a murder of crows. So let's think about what we call a group of dungeon masters.
Okay, so you're on the ship, and after a while, you're allowed back on deck, so you can enjoy the great weather, look at the sun, look at the sky, look at the trees passing by, look at the water and the fish. Well, a week goes on, quite
Can
quiet.
I just briefly ask a question?
Yes.
Is it possible for Lorenzo to offer his services to the captain as a deckhand to try and build ship proficiency? I know we're not going to have the time to do that, but it's an investment of time while we're at it.
Yeah, sure. You can help rig the ship, pull some strings.
Normally this would cost you additional money or gold for resources, but the captain, especially because of the work you've done earlier, that you've done quite well because you rolled quite well on it. She takes you in for at least a journey to teach you what she can, or at least the first mate will take you in to teach you what you can for the first few weeks.
Awesome. So yeah, he'll be doing that whilst going around predominantly shirtless, trying to build up a tan.
Okay, so
I'm going to watch that display. Illyria.
As the week passes, you have heard someone singing sometimes around the ship, and it was not Xander. And then this one evening, when you're all at deck, you hear someone murmuring a song at the bow. And
I think I would go to investigate if there is someone beside our bard singing.
Yeah, Xander would as well.
With me? I asked Xander. I would like to know who's singing here beside you.
Yeah, he would be especially if there were like moments where like he's like humming a tune and then like that other voice picks it up at like after he stops. Like it would be like what the shit? So yeah, we'll go to the bow.
okay, you can see there is a yellow dragonborn standing there, and he has a lute on his back. He's just looking over the waves of the river and enjoying the wind in his face. And he's still murmuring a song.
Do we recognize the tune he's singing?
The tune. It's like that.
Is it something that's relevant? Like
no, it's not really relevant. You can try to, but it's I based the tune on the Tetris theme song, so it's.
Okay.
So he's Russian.
Oh.
Oh, is it Russian? I didn't know that.
Tetris? Yeah, that's so.
Can I go quickly OOC and say, Rowan, you nailed it. It's a pantheon of dungeon masters. It's perfect. I go up to the yellow. Is it really yellow? Or is he gold?
No, it's yellow.
That's weird, right? Good evening. You have a lovely voice.
Oh, he turns around and he says, "Oh well, thank you."
Xander shoots him a stern look and be like, "Sup?"
Oh, he looks at you and like bit surprised by your short note. He's just like, "Well, I'm up. I'm here. I'm enjoying the breeze in my face." The smell in the wind.
It's
can
actually really nice,
I
right?
can smell the
Isaiah?
sea already.
Aren't we
With that,
sailing away
Xander's like,
from
"Oh my God, where's the sea? Oh my God, you said river." He looks at Allie. He's like, "You said it was a river."
And
Yeah.
it is a river, and it's going to be a river for a long time.
Well, it better be.
Yes.
Technically, the sea is just really big over this way.
It's a
Do you
river.
want to encourage him?
That's a pretty
Yes.
wide river, so.
I am the Lady Storm Song. What is your name? Pray tell.
Oh, fuck. My name is Shakyan Yor.
Oh, 20. Shak Yan Yar.
Shakyan Yor.
We're going to phonetically spell that.
Yeah. A pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Oh, the pleasure is
Where
all
are-
mine.
Where are you going?
Going wherever the ship is taking me at the moment.
So you're just wandering around?
Well, actually, I'm looking for stories so I can write songs about them.
Oh, so you're a bard too. My
What?
friend Sander here is so talented
He
and amazing.
he starts singing then, just right there, right then. He sings, "What did you see when you just looked at me that makes you think that I'm a bard?
It was your
Would you
lute.
say it's my lute that gave away upon the look, upon the fact that I'm a bard?" And he looks at you like,
Yeah, I just said that.
"Oh yeah, well, yes."
I look at Sander and from the corner of my mouth, it's like, you're better. Okay. That was lovely.
Xander was going like, "Yeah, I know." He's like, "So how long you been lute slinging?"
Well, for a few years now.
What was that?
For a few years, but
Oh, okay.
I'm not so good with the instrument yet. It's more I'm more of the vocal part. See, I like to sing a lot, and the lute's more for show. I can do. He takes the lute and he's like, ah, bling, plung, bling. You see, it's more like a tool. It's not really to make music. I have my voice, and that's enough. Sometimes.
So what kind of vocal warm-ups do you do? When you have that whole breath weapon thing and
No breath weapons here. No, not when I'm singing.
well, yeah, obviously, but I'm like, what do you do to warm up?
Yeah, I just I sing a tune like la 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 la, and then that for a few hours, and then I start singing.
Listen, tea, honey, lemon, maybe a splash of whiskey, but just
You mean to get in the mood?
no. It's just a splash. But otherwise, the honey. Look, you just can't sing. You're gonna kill the vocals. You're already straining it.
Oh, I think I know what he means. Ali says now. I think I have heard the minstrels in the court of Illum do stuff like that in the back hallway before they stand in front of the court singing. It's something like la 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 la, right? Indeed, we did hear you, but this was the first time I could pinpoint you. Or we
Okay,
could pinpoint.
yeah.
So now we found you.
Yay!
Yay!
Well, it's nice having a conversation with you.
Yes, likewise. So, what if you are a traveling minstrel? What are the news on the street?
I'm sorry.
if you are a traveling bard, what are the news on the street? By the way, we have an echo, says chat. I don't know if you saw my message in here.
Okay. What? Well, actually, then I departed with you from Bridgeton, and actually, you people are the news on the streets because, well, there was this great party and fireworks and fire and this big flamey dude. It's just
Yeah, well, that was not planned. I hope you heard that as well on the street. And I would prefer it if you give the news as truthful as possible. This was some form of accident, and we're going to remedy it. The noble house of Dornwind doesn't stand for distraction and
no, of course.
stuff like that.
I understand what your concerns. You're afraid that people will link this tragic accident with your party, but it's totally not at all your fault what happened there a few days
Thank
ago.
you.
That's no, the people understand this. It was just all a sad, unhappy coincidence.
It was not the only time that something like that happened.
No?
Do I believe what he's saying? Or is he being sincere?
You can roll an insight for that.
I would like to do this as well.
Yeah, sure.
When people start to compliment me, I get suspicious. Oh,
Right?
I have a net 20. Boop, boop, boop. Can you tell?
And I rolled a 17.
17.
Oh. We totally see through the sky.
Cut this bullshit already.
No, this is really from his heart. He really,
okay.
he really thinks that there's no connection between you and the accident that actually happened.
Oh, perfect. I'm so glad that you understand, I say, coming a bit closer. You see, I was very afraid that someone would think that I produced something horrible like that on purpose, and we really didn't. Even though our pyromancers seem to be a little bit touched in the head. Their fireworks were great, but they were not what I would expect from wizards.
Wizards?
Never mind, dear.
I haven't heard too many good things about them. Well, since the accident, you know.
Oh.
So there's
mean,
some
generally,
people
or just
who
those
blame
three?
it all on them.
You think it was the fault of those three?
Well, I'm not an expert in magic, but if it goes
But
wrong,
you're a bard. You have heard stories. You will have some opinion about this, right?
Yes, that's well. If anything goes wrong, you can always blame it on the magic user.
Not all the time. Not all the time.
That it almost seems like you know more about this.
Yeah, maybe. No, not at all. I don't know what we're talking about. Who are these three wizards that we met? I don't know.
Are you drunk?
Not yet.
Huh. Never mind then.
I don't know if Xander would admit to him about the elements getting all screwed up and affecting the magic.
I'm not doing that. But everyone knew that we had that those were in our service, those wizards, right? And they did the firework, and then the methods popped up. So.
Right, but I don't know if Xander would straighten him out with his story.
Yeah, okay, yeah, if you don't want to, don't. That's perfectly okay.
Well, I'm just gonna say, like, sometimes it isn't a magic user's fault.
Yeah.
Sometimes things happen that we can't predict. At that, he looks behind his back at Rangis, who's probably like somewhere mid-boat.
What?
The Azer.
Ragnar, yes.
Yeah, he would probably look back saying like, oh, well, sometimes there's things that we can't plan for.
The good thing and the most important thing is that you know that House Stormwind was not the cause for this disruption, and that even though we are not responsible for that, we are going to try to our best to remedy it.
Yes, of course. May your gilded wings have you soar above the skies and through the streets of Illum for all eternity. I hope your family will make everything well, and I'm very sure that your family and your people will try and restore Bridgeton to the way it was before the damage it took
Super.
from the festival.
Yes,
And of course,
no doubt about it.
your reputation will only grow on the streets of Bridgeton.
She stands a bit taller. Yes, I'm sure you are right.
But more importantly, what's the word about my performance that night? Was I off key?
It was lit.
He stands up proud and he's like, yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, actually, I was really impressed, especially by your instrument. Never seen one of those things before.
You probably won't either. Not
Okay,
easy
well,
to come by.
okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Maybe you could perform for him.
Yeah,
Flex
maybe.
your bardic muscles, so to say.
And Xander looks at me and he's like, wait, me or him?
Yeah, you for him because you were legendary,
yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Could
Absolutely.
you teach me in the ways of the lute? Because I'm not that good at it yet.
Yeah, let me he he gestures like, may I?
Yeah, sure. I'll give you the lute.
So I strum a few chords. Is it in tune at all?
No, it's real awfully off. It's like
Okay, so
it's
like
like a cat scream.
so like I wince and I'm like, oh, that sounds lovely. Let me do this first, and I'm gonna tune it for
Okay.
him. Should I roll? What should I roll for that?
Performance.
Performance?
Dexterity. Performance
Dex?
dexterity. So you can add your proficiency to your dex. Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, that is a 9.
No.
I wince and I'm like, oh, now that you two know each other, why don't you play with your instrument? And I walk off. Show each other what you can do, and yeah,
So it's,
bye.
I think I cheap. Okay. Yeah. Lorenzo, what are you up to while this is happening?
Lorenzo will be somewhere up in the rigging, I would imagine. Anytime he's not working for the crew, he'll be up there trying to just enjoy the breeze, the height, and occasionally he'll be just going through training motions, in essence.
Okay.
He'll be down below decks, lobbing, throwing daggers at the crate and that kind of thing. Keeping himself busy.
Okay, you're not keeping an eye on your companions?
In essence, but he'll not be going they can't go too far. They're on the same ship.
Yeah, that's true. You don't go for the singing you hear?
No.
No, okay.
He's used to hearing singing on ships. It's no big special thing to him.
Okay, well, then we're gonna put it another way. On a given moment, when you're walking on deck, you can see Illyria and Xander talking with a yellow dragonborn. And you can roll a history for that.
Yep. 19.
19. Well, you do remember that there was a yellow dragonborn in line to congratulate Illyria for her birthday.
Do I have any recollection that does it look like the same one?
It could be.
Correct me if I'm wrong, did he not have something to do with the positioning of the divining rod and the gifts?
Maybe, but you remember that was a blue Dragonborn.
Okay, right. Fair enough.
But there also were magic users in the crowd casting fairy fire and stuff like that on people. So color doesn't necessarily mean that.
There was, but I did specifically remember checking at least one of them to make sure they were that color. I think it was the one in line, if I remember rightly.
He never made it up to me, right?
I could be
Because
wrong.
I
Feel
don't
free to correct
remember.
me.
No, he never made it to Illyria.
Okay. Once he's noticed this, then he's going to just casually hover around that area and keep an eye on the guy, but not engage him directly.
Okay. Zana, you want to do anything particular?
As I'm chatting this guy up, telling him like, oh, you do this and this is the fingering, and like, I will ask him, like, so you came from Bridgeton, like, where you heard about the performance?
Yeah, I
You
was
said it.
there. I actually saw you perform, or heard you perform.
Oh, you were at the party.
Yes, of course. There was lots of people there.
Oh, that's true.
This is one of the things you wanna write a song about. And it's hell sure I'm gonna write a song about what happened there. I even left Lady Illyria a present, but I'm not sure if
You
it
left her a
survived.
present.
Yeah, sure. Then I heard a lot was
What'd you
damaged.
leave her?
There was this a box. Persuasion. You can
What
roll
was in the
persuasion.
box?
You can roll persuasion for that.
Okay. I rolled a 15.
15. Well, it was a real nice present. I don't even remember where I got it, but and he seems to be staring, gazing in the distance for a second. I says, there was this box, a real fine jewelry box, but I'm not sure if it survived the fire. There was so much fire.
I'm going to roll a 14 insight to see if he's bullshitting.
14. Well, something's off about the jewelry box. About the story of the present.
Okay.
It's not like he's really lying about bringing a present, but something's not right about the story.
Does he seem genuine about the part where he doesn't remember where he got it from?
Not quite.
Yes? Sorry, the mic cut out. Was that a yes or?
No. It's he seems like he's not really truthfully about
Okay.
where he got the present.
Okay.
Let me think.
There was so much fire.
So there was what? Wait, what was that?
What?
As a
I'm
no, no,
sorry.
no.
I was.
No. There. Like I'm like, yeah, there was a lot of fire.
Yes, wasn't it
Um.
horrible? The horrors. All the fire. The screams.
So I want to. I want to intimidate him.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hand him his loot back. I'm gonna take out. I'm just gonna swing around the hurdy-gurdy.
You're gonna swing around the hurdy-gurdy.
Well, yeah, because it's situated like on my hip, basically.
Yeah, okay.
So I pull it. I'm like, have you ever seen one of these before?
Yeah,
And I
well,
start.
I saw you play it over a week ago, but I've never
That's
seen
true, but
one
I'm.
this close before. And he's like moving his hands like he has itchy fingers and he wants to touch it.
No, no, no.
Oh.
Only look or listen. Don't touch.
But I let you handle
And
my instrument.
You're right, but the difference with this one.
It has this nice turning thingy on it.
Oh, sure. But I really, it's what comes out of the instrument that really makes it special. And I think you need to tell me the truth before I skewer you up and down your torso.
Right, because of the way you're pronouncing this, like you're doing this really calmly, you can definitely do this.
So I'm gonna roll intimidation on him.
He has no idea what's up with the hurdy-gurdy, but it seems really impressive. So just roll.
18, 22.
You can skewer me with music? That sounds really frightening.
It is. So I think you should tell me where you actually, what you brought and where you got it from.
Okay, well, there was this one time when I was really drunk. I was back home in the place where I crawled out of my axe house, and I was really drunk, and I joined this cult. You say there's people having strange motivations because of strange things that people think or say, and well, I joined this cult, and I had this. Actually, I was working undercover for someone, and I started nosing around a bit, and I found this strange stick with a note, and I'm not quite sure what the note was, but it seemed some kind of prophecy. But hey, I found the stick, and since I didn't really know what it did, it seemed to point to some weird directions, and I just thought, yeah, I tried to sell it for some good coin, but nobody really wanted it because nobody managed to find out what it really did. So I just stashed it on the gift table.
Uh-huh. Well then, what's this cult's name?
Fuck. Well, that's the one thing I didn't think of. I have no idea. I was really drunk.
You were drunk
Yes.
the entire time
No.
that you were in this cult.
Yes, but by the time I got in, I didn't dare ask because, I was in way over my head.
It's when you know someone, but that you can't remember for your life their name, and you're like, "Hey, friend."
So, if I can, the tune that I have to play to shoot out the daggers, I want it to be "Pop Goes the Weasel."
Yeah. You actually learned how to retune it to like a 4, 5, 6 note tune that you have to play.
So just like in, God, it's another Looney Tunes reference. Like right where it would go pop, that's when one would shoot out. Yeah, exactly. And I pause.
Okay.
And I'm like,
Okay, yeah. So you're
I'm
ready to
like,
shoot.
one more note. And we're probably just gonna toss you over the side and with the hole through your chest.
Oh, well, that's inconvenient.
Oh, you're right, it is.
No.
So
I like my skin way better unpunctured. So what do you want?
don't we all? Don't we all? I prefer it that way. Mine and yours. I want to roll an insight to see if he actually doesn't know what the cult was or anything like that.
Yeah, sure. Roll the insight.
Like to see if he's actually being legit. $17.
Okay, so what do you want to check out again? Because it's a bit.
Okay, so do I really think that he's being sincere about not knowing the cult name or any of that?
Yeah, totally. He really
Oh,
doesn't.
okay. All
He
right.
really doesn't remember the name.
Okay, I thought he was lying, and I was trying to squeeze him for more information.
Ah, okay.
So that's all that was. So has Lorenzo heard any of this as well? Because he.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Yeah, I'd say he's definitely hovering in earshot.
I look at him. I'm like, are you really a bard, a minstrel?
Yes, of course. Didn't you hear me sing?
I did. That's why I asked.
Oh.
I'm like I said, you have to do vocal warm-ups, not just the scales. You really have to, rest the vocal cords too.
Okay, so I should take a
Like
week
I
off
said,
from singing.
tea, honey, a little bit of lemon, and just a pinch of a whiskey, just to open up everything.
Okay, I'll try to remember the recipe.
It literally is 3 ingredients,
I think
maybe 4.
I think it's also the salt in the air. Can't you taste the sea yet?
Oh my God, where's the sea? Where are we? Are we still? I look over and I see the bank and I'm like, oh, thank God. Oh my God. Oh God. Oh my God. Oh boy. All right.
Oh, take it easy there.
I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm all right. Lorenzo, yeah, I'm gonna go throw up. You
By the way, he
take care of
did
him.
mention something about a prophecy, but that he had as a note next to the stick.
Oh, that's right. So I'm like, as I'm walking away, I'm like, Lorenzo, get the prophecy from him.
Right, so Lorenzo will pass Xander, close in on this conversation, and he'll just have one rapier that's tucked into the sash of his belt. What do you have, the man? Let me have it.
Have what?
The prophecy. The information that you were carrying at the time.
Oh, you want to know about the note I found?
Yes.
Of course, the note. It said, uh, he glares out in the sky for a second, spacing out or something, and then he says, when elements are out of balance, to postpone total destruction, brave folk will be shackled to fate. Dot dot dot. The world will tremor. Dot dot dot. To create. Dot dot dot.
That is all?
Well, that's all there was in the note. I can make up another verse if you want, but I'm not
No,
sure
I
if
think both myself and the ship have had quite enough out of you.
you. Oh.
Is deze wel in deze taal in Dramosh? Ik kan ze meteen even vertellen wat Dragonborn we zien.
Oh yeah, it's in Dramosh, so that's like the Dragonborn version of the prophecy.
Oh, okay.
So we have how many versions of it?
Well, the text was in Dramosh, so are there more versions?
No, sorry, I was asking on a DM front rather than a in character one. Four versions. All right.
Dramosh is Dragonborn.
So is this another part of the puzzle? Because this is something new.
That's what he says, and he says it's a Dragonborn translation of it.
Huh. Is there a difference between Draconic and Dragonborn?
No. Dramosh is the new name for Dragonborn.
He just made it up today.
Okay.
Well, isn't that convenient?
But the Draconic thing was when elements are out of balance to postpone total destruction, slender folk will be gifted with power. ... When rocks go eastward, entire plains will blight, and then crypts shall crumble, the mountains will burn. To create a savior, it need believers. When time continues, he will arrive to create.
Zit die door elkaar zo?
Dat is door elkaar was gezet.
Or is that another translation?
That's the mixed translation.
Huh. Oh yeah, you're. Is the Draconic that we had so far from Barrage the one with when elements are out of balance to postpone total destruction? To create a savior, it need believers. When time continues, he will arrive to create. Is that Draconic? What we had from Barrage?
Yeah, that's correct.
I hope this makes more sense to you than it does to me, says to Illyria.
I'm no longer there. I hear there.
Oh, sorry.
I'm going to show you my instrument. No, I will show you mine. And then the horrible noise, and so I left. Unfortunately. I regret that now, in hindsight.
How is it then, Bard, that you have come first to the party, and we have had all the mayhem, and now you are here? Are you following us?
Well, of course. You see, if people take on a great quest to fix the world or something, I'm not sure, investigate, there has to be great stories to be involved with you, and great songs to be sung about those stories.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you
and
say?
songs that I'm supposed to write, buddy.
What the man over there said.
Yes, but it's better if there's someone on the sideline looking from a distance.
That is a matter of some debate, one I think you will lose. After all, what uses a bard to cannot tune an instrument? How good a song can you produce?
What? I'm sorry?
Well, you must understand. Here, we have a professional. This is, and he points back towards Xander. And here...
Oh god! Oh my god! I think I'm good. I think I'm
Well,
good.
but
I think I'm
but
good.
this is also
a legless professional, but a professional.
but this is also the
Oh.
stuff I want to write songs about. Not just the heroic stuff, but also the everyday life on a boat, a rocking ship, rocking on the, and I make this rocking movement in the, on the like the ship is really rocking, but
Basically, bridge and shore.
You do realize that you
That's
could get
like
the
Jersey
experience.
Shore for Bridgeton.
You do realize that you could get this experience on any other vessel. You do not need to be on the same one as us, I think.
so what do you propose then? You want me off the ship?
I propose that when we find port, that you find another vessel.
Well, of course. That's just fine. I don't bother trying to catch up on you a few weeks behind. I'll just hear the stories from the people where you pass by, and then I'll write songs about it.
17 insight to see if he's going to actually do it.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna try it.
Is he actually going to attempt to leave us alone, is the question.
No, just exactly what he just said. He's gonna try and follow you, and then
Okay.
gather information on what you did on the places you've been, if people saw you.
Understand something. You are welcome?
You've got a groupie.
Yeah. Understand something. Where I am going and where these people are going, it is likely to be very dangerous. You are probably going to die.
Oh,
There will be no stories about you.
oh well, that's really a bummer.
If you were sensible, you would not follow us at all. Or you would simply wait in the taverns, wait for the stories to get back to you, and then craft a poem.
Oh, now that is a really, truly crafty idea.
No, all of the work, none of the danger.
Yes, yes, I like it. I like it.
Then we have an accord.
I'll give
We
it a
get to
serious
port,
start.
you find the tavern, we get on with the job.
Yes, of course, of course.
Splendid. And he puts his hand on the guy's shoulder and pushes him up against the guardrail of the ship. And understand that if I find that you are not performing according to this accord, perhaps the next ship you will sail on, you will not be returning on. Hmm? And he gives him a little bit of a shove just to make his point known.
Okay. Point taken. Point taken. I won't bother you. Any...
Xander comes back over, puts a hand on Lorenzo's shoulder, and be like, "Wait, one more question. Oh, one more question. Why did you decide to give the rod to her?"
Well, it seemed a convenient way to get rid of the thing. I don't know how to use it. And you seem like some crafty people, so...
But you didn't know us until then.
No, that's true. But...
So how do you know that we aren't just idiots who don't know what to do?
He looks you right in the eye, and he says, "But I don't."
Well, that checks out.
If I may, please, I would like to enjoy the sea breeze for a little bit.
I think you need all that you can to clear out that head of yours. And Lorenzo turns around and starts walking back towards the other side of the ship.
And,
Yeah, it's good.
and I look at him, I'm like, what he said, and I follow him.
Okay, well, thanks for tuning my loot.
You're welcome.
Here we go. Okay, so you're gonna take a rest for the night. Ken's gonna take over in a minute. So okay.
I would probably fill in Illyria about what transpired after she walked away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have thought that the three of us would have probably had a conference and got
Yeah.
one over up to speed.
Very
Yeah.
good. And I will jot down the next part of the prophecy in my little diary. Travel
I
diary.
do not like this.
No, me neither. And wasn't Barrage very afraid of other Dragonborn? We need to tell him about this one. And
Was
what it
he?
might
I
be.
must have missed this information.
He was very concerned about us going to his homeland, right?
Yeah, he doesn't want to go back home.
I think he has some form of misgivings with other Dragonborn. I'm not sure what it's about. He was not very forthcoming, and he has been in scups all the time. So
Oddly enough, when you get the man in his cups, he's usually coming. Perhaps we need to get him onto something a bit stronger.
or
So
less strong.
as you talk about this, you have a few more days to talk about this. You travel along a bit further, and Lorenzo, during your journey and your travels, you hear that the place where the water is getting a bit lower is gonna come up in a bit. So one afternoon, you suddenly hear the captain call out, "Halt the ship! Halt the ship! Drop anchor! We're gonna offload! We're gonna offload here!" Everybody gets to work to halting the ship, and apparently the idea here is that they're gonna offload the ship. So the ship is gonna be higher in the water, and then it's gonna be able to pass the water that's lower than it usually should be. And then on the other side of where the lower point is, the ship is going to be loaded again. So that should take like a day and a half, maybe two, depending on how good it goes. So
Okay.
Is there a little village at this point?
no, there
or...
isn't. Sometimes along the way, what you have seen is like a little bit of a hilly landscape with a lot of plains. Here and there, some big farms with like huge fields of corn or bee farms, even that you would know here in the human lands. Here and there, some tiny villages, but not really big stuff like what you would see anywhere else.
If
So
this
there's
takes
nothing.
a day or so, shouldn't there be some settlement to cater to the sailors' needs or something?
No, because apparently this is not something that has been going on for quite long. This is something recent that they've been having to get past this point. So yeah, there's no real other option than to offload the boat and get the boat to the other side while being less loaded. Because it's a cargo ship, so it's quite deep into the water as is.
Makes sense, yeah.
So basically, the entire crew is busy with offloading the ship during the day, and you have set out this little place, like a small little camp that the captain told you that might be a good place to set up, with this dragonborn there as well, the Azers there. You seem to be the only travelers along this journey at the point, because it's usually a cargo ship and it's something that's been arranged quite on a rush, this travel. um, you suddenly see a man coming up to you. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Can you give me some help? And he looks really panicked.
Okay.
I need
Inside check.
Inside check. Run inside.
Oh, that's a good one. 22.
22.
Yeah.
You think it's all fake?
You think he's what? Fake?
He's totally fake.
Can I roll perception on
I've
him and
just-
see what I?
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
just rolled
me
21
too.
for perception to see what
What's
is
going
in
on?
the area that's causing him problems.
And in the direct area, you see nothing really. There's a little bit further on. There's a path going between some trees here and there, some little bushes or some not really forests, like just little groups of trees together that can form a little cluster of trees, like maybe maximum of a mile across or something like that. That the road, and it's not really a road, more like a pathway, because a road that people would take goes other ways. So this road would only be traveled by the people that live on the farms along the waterway. And yeah, there's nothing around here that you see. But
Could
Ali,
I'm
you
referring to
s-
him though.
Sorry,
I'm referring to what I see on this person that's coming up to us.
you see a guy that is in total panic and coming towards you. And Ali, you feel like it's total fake.
I
What
rolled
he's
perception. I got a 17.
Okay,
I
yeah.
just mean like what he's wearing. Are there any telling?
He's wearing like these normal leather pants, leather boots. He has a cloak on his back. He carries on his side a. Let me double check.
He's human,
Uh,
right?
kijk. He's carrying on his side a scimitar, and on his back he has a light crossbow.
Okay, Lorenzo will definitely have his blade out if this guy's armed.
But have you done an insight check, guys?
No, they didn't. So
No.
you're the
You
only
did
one
the
that
perception.
realizes that he's
Oh no,
Something.
I'm
totally
just
faking
looking
it.
at him.
Yeah, they're
Like-
looking at him. Lorenzo's looking at the area. Sandra's looking at him, and you're inciting. You're
Yeah.
checking out
And-
his feeling, his behavior,
And-
and his feeling.
And because this is weird, I'm going to step up with this elven fluidity and draw my bow and I say, "You,
Oh,
sir,
sorry. Wait.
are
We
lying."
need help. We need help.
That is a lie. Who are you? And what do you
I-
want?
We need help. A bit further on, we were assaulted by bandits, and our horses were
You don't-
killed.
I think you are a bandit.
literally. You don't look like you've seen much action. Your
He
sword
actually
is
has a
still
few
sheathed.
scratches on him and maybe a bump on his head that looks like there's bleeding a bit.
Right, but I'm looking at his blade. It's not. It's still in the crossbow.
It's not drawn at all, nothing.
Yeah. Like when did this happen?
About half an hour ago. You might be able to catch them. Come with me, please help me. And he turns around and starts running the opposite way that he came from.
This man is lying. Don't trust him.
I'm not. My transportation's here. I'm not running off to help some schmuck.
Indeed. But I think it may be best that we retire to the ship for the evening. If there are bandits about, they will not be operating alone, and that is a very common lure tactic.
We need to protect the ship. I say and march back to the ship with my bow and arrow and ready. Trusting that my companions will follow my lead.
Oh yeah, Lorenzo will be very close by.
Yeah, no.
compared to the-
Xander doesn't run off into like headlong into combat.
Lorenzo will be keeping a constant watch out just to make sure whether they're being followed or these guys decide, yeah, okay, they've not fallen for it, we're going to go for him.
And I inform the crew.
You see
there might
this
be
guy
bandits
just
about.
standing like 30 feet further, and he stops and looks behind him. We need help! We need help!
You need someone to teach you how to lie.
What do you mean? We need help! We were assaulted!
You are lying.
I'm not lying!
You must find someone else, my friend. You cannot afford their services.
Oh, my children, my children! And he turns around and he bows his head and he just really relaxed, walks off. Like more like not like he's in a hurry, but and not relaxed, so to say, but not in a quick tempo with his head bowed down.
That was weird.
Yeah. I would like to do another insight check.
Okay, go ahead.
Not as good as the last one, but it's still a 20, a dirty 20.
Uh,
As we refer to it in Curse of Strahd, the booby 20.
or dirty 20. You actually notice him looking, instead of looking downwards, he's more looking
Mm.
backwards than anything else. So he's checking
I'm
out
going
you.
to shoot a warning shot right at his at his foot. I'm not going to hit him, but right beside his foot.
You can still roll an
As
attack
a
roll.
warning. Okay. I don't want to hit him. I
No,
just want to.
no. You're not gonna
Okay.
hit him. Even with a 1, you're not gonna aim for him and or anything
Okay.
like that. But still, how close can you get? You know?
Okay. I think. Wait. What do I have to?
A d20.
Just a 20. Like that. An 18.
Yeah. You just barely shoot him in the next to his foot, and he looks
I,
backwards.
yeah, I don't want to shoot him, as I said. I just want to hit right beside his foot, and I like.
Yeah, exactly. And
You
and
better hurry
he
along.
looks at it, looks backwards,
Bandit.
starts running, and he disappears into the bushes.
Tell your friends that this ship is protected by the noble house of Dormwind. I yell after him.
Okay. So you head back to the camp. It wasn't too
Yeah, I
far off.
think
You were like
right?
you were like a 100, maybe 200 foot away
Yeah.
from, not really camp, but the place on the side of the riverway where everybody's offloading and carrying all this stuff, like a few 100 feet further to offload it there.
Okay.
And that's basically what they're doing. They're offloading the entire ship and then loading it the next day when the ship's passed.
I'm going to stand watch.
Okay.
Because I think that they're going to attack the ship and try to steal the cargo, right? And I'm going to tell the crew that this is my suspicion.
Okay. So when you tell the captain this, she says, "Oh, really? I should have some additional watch and guard tonight. Would you maybe be willing to help out with that? Seeing as we would probably have to defend the cargo and the ship directly, you might be able to do something more than that."
Absolutely.
I don't know if you might be able to even prevent an attack from happening if you think it's bandits.
As in, search them out and.
Well, sorry to say, but I did hear some stories about what you have done in Bridgeton, and I was quite impressed. Even if half of the stories were true, you were quite impressive as a group. So maybe you would be able to do something here.
How much are you paying?
Paying, sorry, but you paid us to traverse you towards the next place where you need to be. So we either get there or we don't.
Well, sometimes attack is the best defense. Maybe we should go and hunt us some bandits. What do you say, friends?
I say you are paying my bills.
What are you saying, Senna? Would you like to feel the earth under your feet? Fighting something else beside methods and crazy elemental creatures?
And Xander looks over. I'm like, and through Barash, I ask our Azer friend, and I said, "You want to hit something?"
I'd rather protect the ship if I can. I think you can handle this.
Yeah, okay. Let's do it.
Perhaps we had best scout the area on the way. Try and keep things a little bit subtle for the time.
So with that, I think it would be an excellent idea to end the session for tonight.
Perfect.
I thank everybody for watching. I thank players for being here. And
yeah, cheers for having me.
Thank you for the Dungeon Mastering.
Thank you very much.
Both of you.
Yeah.
The dynamic
Indeed.
Dungeon Master duo.
We're so be sure to tune in tomorrow for actually Sam, who's gonna DM a one shot again. instead
Yes.
of Curse of Strahd, because I think Leonie's unable to join. So you're
Yes, we're
taking
down
over.
another player again, so it's going to be a one-shot Magic Village for sale. So tune in for that. It's going to be good fun.
So I don't know what time. You're sure to know?
It'd be the usual. I don't know what comes out of UTC. It'll be 6 p.m. GMT.
6 GMT, so that would be 4 FAF or 4 UTC.
It's 4 UTC because I think it's 6
Yes, it
p.m.
is
my
4
time.
UTC. And then this Tuesday we have Dungeons and Dragons Online with me and Stan, in which we will continue on our journey through the marketplace in what's the town called again, Tina? The
Stormreach.
Stormreach. Yes, that's
Yes.
it.
In Sandrick.
So I hope you all. Oh, and I've not to forget, of course, Monday. Monday is Princess of the Apocalypse, right?
Yep.
With the this is not Fausto, but this is the
Ben?
Ben, I think. Yeah, Ben.
Yeah.
So be sure to tune in for that. Be sure to tune in to our Discord. Join us there. Join the fun, and I guess catch you all on a later date. Bye bye.
So long, folks.
Bye.
Later.
See you later.